From the ancient wine-drunk lines of Li Po, the consumptive heartbreak of Keats, to the dread and sorrow found in Anne Sexton's poems on love and loss, loneliness and longing have remained central themes throughout all of poetry and song. Before we begin, as always, please like, subscribe, and most importantly, comment. Today, let's explore two versions of loneliness in a couple of my favorite poems, beginning with Charles Bukowski, the incandescent and acerbic LA poet. Bukowski is often heralded as the king underdog for both his wild dereliction alongside his adamant refusal to ever quit, even in the face of so much defeat and despair. If you haven't already, I highly recommend giving Run with the Hunted a read. Fittingly enough, Bukowski's poem, Alone with Everybody, is found in Love is a Dog from Hell, a self-evident collection of his poems first published in 1977. The brevity and starkness of the poem matches its grim pathos toward loneliness and love. The entire poem reads as follows. The flesh covers the bone, and they put a mind in there and sometimes a soul. And the women break faces against the walls, and the men drink too much. And nobody finds the one, but keep looking, crawling in and out of beds. Flesh covers the bone, and the flesh searches for more than flesh. There's no chance at all. We are all trapped by a singular fate. Nobody ever finds the one. The city dumps fill, the junkyards fill, the madhouses fill, the hospitals fill, the graveyards fill. Nothing else fills. Perhaps the most telling line in Bukowski's poem is, quote, "There's no chance at all. We are all trapped by a singular fate. Nobody ever finds the one," unquote. It signals a self-inflicted isolation born of cynicism, fatigue, and finally, despair, often Bukowski's calling card. And while despair and defeat were a unique kind of fuel for Bukowski, they are crippling delusions for the vast majority that can blind and even drown the strongest and bravest among us. If Bukowski's poem yields to so much exhaustion and defeat, Richard Hugo's poem, Degrees of Grey in Phillipsburg, offers an entire opposite vantage point, rooted in defiance and hope in the face of the same desolation and hard luck found in Bukowski's Alone with Everybody. The narrator in Hugo's poem is trapped in a small rural town in Montana. The last vestiges of love remain only as ghosts. The town itself exists in a state of perpetual collapse, held together only by the memory of some glorious past. The fatigue and isolation is readily evident in Hugo's poem. Quote, "Isn't this your life? That ancient kiss still burning out your eyes? Isn't this defeat so accurate? The church bell simply seems a pure announcement. Ring and no one comes. Don't empty houses ring? Are magnesium and scorn sufficient to support a town, not just Phillipsburg, but towns of towering blondes, good jazz, booze, the world will never let you have until the town you came from dies inside," unquote. Right as the poem seems to plummet into the bottomless depths of loneliness and despair, as the narrator is faced with seemingly insurmountable odds inside and outside of himself, Hugo defiantly switches his tone in the final stanza toward a brave and vehement kind of hope. Quote, "Say no to yourself. The old man, 20 when the jail was built, still laughs, although his lips collapse. Someday soon, he says, I'll go to sleep and not wake up. You tell him no, you're talking to yourself. The car that brought you here still runs. The money you buy lunch with, no matter where it's mined, is silver, and the girl who serves your food is slender, and her red hair lights the wall," unquote. Both Hugo's and Bukowski's poems demonstrate just how much our perspective and outlook play an integral role in how we choose to face all manner of suffering, including isolation and loneliness. I love both poems and have drawn from them for years. However, it's Hugo's poem that has offered me the most reprieve, even if begrudgingly so. It reminds me again and again and again that amid so much loss, fatigue, and loneliness, we simply must choose hope. Please comment below with your favorite poems, songs, or stories on loneliness, and share how they helped you navigate away from so much despair. And as always, like and subscribe. Thanks, and see you next time.